What sacred festivals did the people of ancient Wales celebrate during what today we know as the Celtic Wheel of the Year? Were there any astronomical or astrological events that brought us together as communities? What were the festivities? What were the ceremonies about? What were the customs and traditions? And what did the people of Wales believe about the cosmic universe and Mother Earth at this time? If you are familiar with the Celtic Wheel of the Year, then you will know that there is a holiday, a festival called Beltane, and Beltane is placed between the midpoint of the spring equinox and the summer solstice. Now, this is celebrated this year, 2024, on the 6th of May, but this would have changed throughout time depending on the Earth's axis tilting. Now, Beltane is a celebration of the Gaelic tradition. So Scotland, Ireland and the Isle of Man have since pre-Christian times celebrated this holiday, and they still do, but not as much as they would have. And when looking at Wales, well, what did we celebrate? In fact, something very similar, and we don't see many traces of it today, mainly because we don't have the same amount of written records and evidence in history to tell us what our ancestors believed in and what they did. But we can look at the Brythonic cultures of the Celtic period, so like Wales, Cornwall and northern Brittany, and just, look at how close they are to Ireland and Scotland. And we can see that the seasonal shifts are the same in this area, so we were likely celebrating in the same way. But in Wales, our celebration isn't called Beltane, it is called Calan Mai, and that translates to the 1st of May or May Day. It can also be called Calan Half meaning summer, and this day, this year and in the modern world is on the 1st of May. But more importantly, before that, we have something called Nos Galan Mai, which is the evening or the night before the 1st of May, which was actually likely way more important than May Day itself. Now, over time, we have integrated our pagan traditions with the Christian and Catholic traditions that have come over to these lands, but they still hold many of the pagan customs, and the symbolic aspects are still very obvious when we look at them. To fully understand this, it's good to put ourselves in the shoes of our Welsh ancestors and the people of Wales. So they'd spent the winter period and the colder months with very short days. The evenings were dark, so they were huddled round a fire because they didn't have, central heating and homes to keep them warm. They would have been huddled round a fire, smoke in their faces, eating the same foods all winter, just waiting for the time in which they can bask in the sun and eat fresh foods again and celebrate together. It is the first day of summer. It is the day where everyone comes together to finally celebrate breaking out of those colder months for good and just witnessing the vibrant world around when it comes to the flowers and the leaves and the animals and the bird song, and noticing that within us as well as individuals and within community, we are also more vibrant, we are also waking up, we are also blossoming with the world around us. But in today's world, we don't celebrate this, and one of the main reasons is because we don't see the process from when food is grown and how it ends up on our plate. So we're not grateful or respectful towards the energy put into the food through people growing it, farmers growing it. We don't witness the earth go from a barren, colourless landscape into a blossoming, abundant landscape. So this holiday is very much about abundance and fertility. So these symbolic themes of love, life, abundance, fertility, they are expressed in the traditions and activities that the people would celebrate. So we'll start off with what people did on Nos Calan Mai. So on the evening before Calan Mai, it is a Great Spirit Night. This is one of the 3 Great Spirit Nights of Wales. And these Spirit Nights are called Ysbrydnos. The first one of the year being this one, Nos Galan, on the 30th of April, the second one being St. John's Eve on the 24th of June, and the third one being Nos Calan Mai, which is the evening before what we now know as Halloween, or in the Celtic Wheel of the Year, Samhain. It is believed that the worlds are merging, so these are the other worlds, the spirit worlds, the realms that are unseen to us. Because of the position of the sun and the earth at these times, the veil is lifted between our world and the other worlds. People would go and collect and gather plants, flowers, foliage for the reason of decorating their homes and their community spaces. So the streets, the feasting tables, and anywhere that they were going to be coming together to celebrate. And because they believed that due to the veil lifting, spirits are likely to cross over, they would burn big fires, and the smoke would basically cleanse the area, purify the area, stopping any negative spirits coming through. And for the children, they are told spooky stories to get them into bed earlier so that the adults can carry on partying. And the day after is May Day, Calan Mai, which is where everyone wakes up and they start to celebrate from the get-go. So hopefully on this day the sun is rising and there are no clouds about. Everyone is feeling that warmth, feeling that love from the celebrations on the evening before. On this day there still would be lots of foliage and plants decorating the areas, but they would come together and do some activities that are unique for this day. One of the activities is a battle between winter and summer, played out by the people acting. So two men would come and perform this show. There would be one man dressed as winter and one man dressed as summer. The man dressed as winter would have a black thorn stick and a shield that was covered in wool, and the man dressed as summer would be very vibrant and floral with a wand that was decorated with flowers and petals. And these two would battle it out, and everyone kind of knew what was going to happen, and they'd been awaiting this time. Everyone's excited to see who wins this battle, but it is summer, because summer has come and winter is going. Bye bye winter, we're done with you. And when summer wins, that means summer can choose the May king and queen. And in the morning of this day, women would get up and go and purify and cleanse themselves with the water of the morning dew found in, plants and grass, and they would rub it on their faces as a welcome back to this wonderful time of year. And then you've got the custom of dancing around the maypole. So this is where you have got a pole sticking out of the ground, and it would be decorated again with flowers and plants, and then later on ribbons. So big colourful ribbons would be wrapped around it, and then big ribbons would actually be tied from the top of the maypole down so that you could hold it and spin around the maypole. So there would be a group of you running around the maypole. It sounds really fun, the kids would have loved it, and that is still practiced today in some areas. Actually, in my primary school we had a maypole and we used it once, but it was there. So this particular festival, along with many of the fire festivals in Wales, would have been ancient pre-Christian festivals, but throughout time they would have merged into the Christian festivals, and then later on they were totally banned. So when it comes to May Day and the maypole, it was banned in the 1700s, and it was seen as a pagan practice that was going against the religious ideas at the time, and this celebration was just kind of cast aside as a totally pagan holiday, and it hasn't really made a comeback since. And this ban wasn't just targeted at Calan Mai, it was targeted at many similar festivals and activities within this kind of pagan inspired realm. So when it comes to performance, singing, poetry, dance, there was traditionally an earth mound in the middle of a field in the communal area, and as someone was performing on there, playing the fiddle or the harp, people will decorate the mound with oak branches and flowers and foliage. So this was kind of the stage. And at this time, I'm pretty sure a lot of the songs and the poetry shared would have been around the symbols of fertility, spirits, love, because even today we start to see little festivals pop up. We start to see people getting their barbecues out, coming together to celebrate the sun, which is ultimately what this festival is all about. So for me, this day is about the return of the sun, and not the return of like a sun god. It is simply just honoring and respecting that which brings me life, that which brings me happiness, that which brings my family out, that which brings all of my friends together for the first time in ages, because we become very much hermits in the winter, and I'm pretty sure they did back then because there wasn't much reason to go out. So for me, Calan Mai is about celebrating the warmth again and sticking together and combating nature, understanding that nature is brutal because we've just gone through a winter of dealing with the harsh reality that is winter. Today we don't experience that harsh reality. We can run away, get our blankets on, cozy up inside, but back then living with the natural world was just, you were in it, man. If there was a storm, if it snowed, you were in it. So when the sun comes along, imagine how good you'd feel. Now, I would love to know what you do during this time, or if you're going to be tapping back into this ancient Welsh festival, or if you're from somewhere else and you have some sort of ceremony or celebration that is similar to this. Now, I'm about to go out and collect some plants and flowers because today it is Nos Galan Mai, but it is the 30th of April, so technically, astronomically, tonight isn't the day in which the spirits are likely to enter the home. But if today was that day astronomically, I'd be avoiding crossroads, I'd be avoiding churches, I'd be avoiding liminal spaces, unless I was actively trying to access the spirit world, which I personally am not at the moment. But what I will be doing today is going out and collecting like plants and flowers and bringing them in. I think I'm gonna actually just decorate my space and have a little celebration because I can't wait to go and sunbathe, have some fresh strawberries and chill out. So I'm gonna go out and collect some plants and flowers to decorate the home and just reflect on this winter, reflect on this past year, and have a little think about what I want this summer to bring me, which for me is very much about slowing down and sunbathing. Very simple, very effective. I'm excited. Have a lovely day, guys. Bye.